Hello, guys. So yeah, we're going to be watching Marin play Brandon Nakashima in Hangzhou. We are actually a couple of pods late. Although you know what's also late? The scoreboard, which for some reason hasn't registered these first couple of points. Sorry, I still had the sound on. I know Brandon won the first one. I guess maybe the scoreboard is going to be updating now. Yeah, it's very all apparently. All right, I will put on some scoring for you in a moment. Honestly, I was running a little bit late, but we will figure this out during change of ends or something like that. Anyway, let's see if Nakashima can claim this first game. Tried to go T here, close call, but it's out. And Marin tries to attack his second serve return. So I guess it must have been what? Now the scoreboard is back to updating itself a bit late, but I guess it's 40-30 Nakashima, right? Yeah, it is 40-30 Nakashima. So Cilic had a 15-30, but then missed a couple of shots, one on the return, one off the ground. And now there's a great big serve down the tee from Brandon as well to get the first game. Yes, let me figure out the scoring situation, is what I'm going to do now. And hopefully we will have it on the screen in a couple of minutes. But yeah, semifinals between Nakashima and Cilic. What an exciting matchup, to be honest, right? I mean, it's definitely not something that I thought I was ever going to see, to be honest. Cilic against Nakashima. I mean, players from different generations. Marin the last couple of years, barely on tour. But yeah, here we are. And Cilic so far to get to this, actually both of them to get to this round, they had to save match points. Cilic against Uchiyama yesterday, and Nakashima against Wong in the second round. So it's not been easy for either player, but now that they're here, I'm hoping for a very exciting battle. Truthfully, even though I know I've been very, very bold on I've been saying basically all the time that Cilic has a lot of game left, and I really believe that he can get back to a very competitive level soon. I don't really believe in him winning today, to be honest. I mean, yesterday against Uchiyama, that must have taken quite a lot from him, and also Brandon is just like in his 2024 state. I think he's gotten his serve to be at a point where like Cilic would have to be super clean on his, and also be just like in top shape really to trouble him. And yeah, after yesterday's match, I don't really know if Cilic will be in that top shape. Of course, he had some fantastic moments this week, especially the second set against Yoshihito Nishioka. But yeah, I think Brandon is pretty confidently the favorite today. But, well, we'll see. So far, Cilic misses this forehand down the line. Let's try to put on the scoring for you guys. Share screen, and it should be somewhere here. Hopefully, this scoring will be updatable in real time because I've had issues with that. But anyway, let's see. Okay, you should have some scoring on the screen right now. Hopefully, it will be updated even when I'm not in that window, because that had been an issue for me in the past. If not, I will just be refreshing it from time to time. But yeah, Cilic, of course, can also do quite a lot of damage on serve. And if he's gonna be fit, if he's gonna be healthy enough to play, who knows? Maybe he can actually get this done. It will actually be a pretty historical moment. I mean, a pretty historic moment as well if Cilic got this win done, because I think since 1990, so when sort of like the ATP Tour as we know it today began, only Raymond Sluiter was ranked lower when he made an ATP Tour final. Sluiter was 866, I think. Cilic 777 before this week began. And well, of course, that would be something massive. Lowest ranked ATP Tour finalist this year is actually Rafa Nadal in Bostad, 261. So that would be a pretty massive jump, of course, of about 500 ranking spots. And well, so far in this game, Cilic is standing up to the task. approaching the net here with this nice forehand, making it a little bit more compact, focusing on the precision, and then takes the smash right of the air. 40-15 to the 2014 US Open champion. And by the way, today, the Tokyo main draw round in a rematch for that US Open final. So that won't be happening until like Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. But still, something to look forward to this week for sure. Of course, this is not the only Hangzhou match today. There's also the other semi-final between Buyun Chaokete and Zhiren Zhang. Buyun Chaokete has secured his top 100 debut with this semi-final run. And now we have a very historic moment for Chinese tennis, an ATP Tour semi-final between two Chinese players. Someone will join Yibing Wu as the only ATP Tour finalists from this country. Of course, it may also be Yuncheng Shang in Chengdu, who is playing Yannick Hanfmann later today. But yeah, so far from China, only Yibing Wu managed to get there. And yeah, Buyun Chaokete, the fourth Chinese player to debut in the top 100. So definitely something special there. And well, Cilic had the 40-15 lead, but he's about to blow it, or maybe not. Anyway, at 40-30, he missed the sitter into the open court of the backhand. But now a big serve gives him another chance. Kicker to the Brandon backhand, and wow, what a shot from Cilic. Taking this down the line, almost on the run. Really confident so far in his ball striking, as he should be. I mean, most of the week, maybe outside of the first set against Zachary Svaida, he's been absolutely fabulous, to be honest. So yesterday, of course, was a big battle as well against Uchiyama, but he managed to survive, and so far, he looks fine. Of course, we'll see how the match progresses and how the potential fitness levels of Cilic look, but well, so far, he is still on it. But now, time for Brandon to serve at one game all. Yeah, I mean, with the developments of Nakashima's game this year, he kind of returned to where he was in 2022. Although as a different player, I don't know if a stronger one, possibly. And I think the serve is actually one of the main areas of improvement. Like the when he was first rising, it was not at that level, and that could be a key shot for him today, because we see what Cilic is doing so far in the rallies. I mean, this is another insane point from Marin, just instantly getting Brandon on the back foot with the backhand line, and then wrapping it up into the other corner. Beautiful again. This time Cilic again trying to go for a big forehand down the line, just basically taking time away from Nakashima, never really slowing down. But this one didn't actually pan out. Great return as well. Nakashima trying to slice it, but he was like so late, despite not even having to to get to the ball. So far, Cilic is like really flying there. I mean, I wonder if he's gonna be able to turn it into anything. But yeah, he's off to a good start. If there's gonna be any fitness issues later, so far they're not showing up. Now he's in another rally, gets a forehand to crack. Nakashima is pretty steady here though. And yeah, eventually he's gonna get an error from Cilic. So 2-1 Nakashima so far. Cilic the more active player, that's for sure. But it's not like that's going to be something that is guaranteed to give him results in this one. Not against Brandon, who's both serving very well and also is quite solid. I mean, definitely more solid than him. Something else that I definitely what was that? I don't know. Never mind. There was something I wanted to talk about, but now I actually forgot. I've been kind of lost trying to follow one more match at the same time, but that has already finished. So we will be able to focus on this for sure. Oh yeah, I know I wanted to say. Just kind of randomly, I think after maybe he beat Svaida. No, I think it was after he beat Nishioka. I listened to the post-match interview of Cilic on the court, and basically he said something that I really enjoyed about like his game being very satisfying to play when he is firing. That like he basically said that, and he said a lot of knows, by the way. Like is pretty much half the thing, half the words he says. But anyway, that's not the point. What he said is that basically he plays this very aggressive serve forehand style. So obviously, when it's going right, it's very satisfying to play. And I kind of started thinking, are there players who kind of think their styles aren't satisfying to play? As probably yes, right? I mean, I don't think every single play style has to be exactly as satisfying to play, but of course you have to do what brings you the best results potentially. Well, now that Nakashima is held, Cilic is back to serve. Lost the first point, but finds an ace down the tee right away to respond to that. And well, speaking of aces down the tee, here's more of that. I mean, with Cilic, the thing is that we've seen some players, succeed at 36, 37. I mean, most notably Djokovic, but I mean, Cilic over the course of his career, he's been relatively injury free, right? So I think that helps. And also, of course, yeah, his game, like just the fact that he can do so much work with just one or two shots a lot of the time, and I think that really gives him a solid chance of like staying on tour a little while longer, at least staying competitively on tour a little while longer if the health holds up. Because even if he's like slightly slower, right? I mean, even if he loses half a step, is it really that detrimental to his game? I don't think so. Like, look at this rally. Uh, Gets the return in play, Nakashima, but after that, it's just Cilic kind of standing inside the baseline, or rather very close to it, and eventually he just kind of plays 3 or 4 shots without moving that much, and he smashes that forehand cross court into oblivion. So yeah, I think that if someone is kind of gonna hold up at a latter stage of their career on tour, Cilic is a good idea. Cilic could be a good example, and that beautiful serve again, gonna be 2 games all here. But of course, the health is also so important. I remember praising some of the Cilic play at the beginning of his comeback this year too. especially that level that he had for a set and a half against Struff before he wasted 9 match points. And after that, of course, the knee simply was done. He needed another surgery. So I don't know. Hopefully that's in the past as well for him. But if it's not, I mean, if it is, then yeah, still a lot of potential to have like a one or two good seasons, I think. Nakashima, of course, at a very different stage, and yeah, just probably going to be a stable main tour player for years, as we were expecting him to before the brief detour last year. Anyway, let's see if he can produce something on return here. Once again, the forehand cross is just so strong. If he gets that ball from Brandon like in the middle of the court with not that much angle on it, he is able to produce so much, just both pace and also angle from that middle of the court, sending Brandon to his defending to his forehand corner. It's been a rocket every single time. So I think Nakashima really has to avoid giving him that sort of ball, and that's actually something that Brandon does quite a lot. So that might be a bit of an issue. Big reaction from the Cilic box here. They are like really pushing for that break now. I don't know. Maybe they also kind of are seeing that he started well, and it would be good to take advantage of this. Brandon was trying to serve out wide, get him out of the court, but misses the +1 backhand. Next serve is going to be much better though, so 30 all. I think Cilic also had a 15-30 in the first game of the Nakashima serve. And well, he was in another rally here, but eventually he's going to shank the forehand. Nakashima trying to get that middle ball in at him again, but this time with a lot more pace, a lot more depth on it. And that definitely is going to be some sort of a solution if he's just going to try to play like this, just steady, solid ground strokes. Then yeah, they have to be pretty pacey and not give Cilic that higher ball he thrives at. At the body now from Nakashima, that's a good choice and should give him the point. Yes, indeed. So after 5 games, still haven't learned all that much. But well, so far Cilic not showing any signs of fatigue. That is definitely true. How has Cilic looked this week and how far he can go in the last chapter of his career? So I guess I was kind of talking about this over the last 5 minutes. But yeah, I mean, the second set against Nishioka was just God mode, to be honest. And I think that he can definitely return to like top 100 to a top 100 level and have like, I don't know, one or two more seasons where he's a threat on the main tour. I think that's absolutely doable. Obviously, yeah, the health, we always have to mention that, right? But there's nothing, I mean, it can happen to anybody. Of course, it's more likely that injuries are going to hit you when you've just had a couple of surgeries and when you're 35, 36. I think he's going to be 36 in 5 days. But I mean, he looks better than, I don't know, like a Wawrinka a year ago, I think. Wawrinka a year ago would have been 38 or something like that. But you know what I mean? Like, he looks better than some of these Mari, Wawrinka types to me who were basically only able to achieve like a 60, 70-ish ranking and, have some fine attempts, but like never really do that much in terms of just like winning big events and, well, not big events, but like not even winning events anymore. Or I don't know, making slam third rounds, fourth rounds. I think that's something that Cheech could do, win it to 50 somewhere, get a decent run at the slam. I don't know. I mean, of course, it's not, it's capped. Like, I don't think he's going to be a Grand Slam semifinalist anymore or win an ATP 1000. Like, yeah, that's very unrealistic. But I think he's got a good shot at getting it like top 50 or thereabouts again. I don't know. We'll see, but I think the early signs are really good. Today, I'm just kind of treating it as a bonus. He's gotten a lot of playtime on in Hangzhou this week, and yeah, as Gene says, his style is it really isn't that physical, so that could help. Targeting the Nakashima forehand, indeed, and also yeah, the first round in Tokyo. I think I mentioned it like 15 minutes ago, but yeah, of course, Cilic versus Nishikori, first round in Tokyo, 2014 U.S. Open final. They are going to meet again, and that should be Wednesday or Thursday, I think. Of course, if Cilic wins today, I think it definitely will be Thursday. They will give him that. A rally full of slices here, and it's actually going to be Nakashima coming out on top, getting the ball to the Cilic forehand eventually. Marin not quite raising it on over the net. Wow, what a strike from Cilic here. Yeah, just not waiting for that ball, not willing to give Nakashima any time again, and taking it off the half volley, middle of the court. Of course, the drive could have been better, but the finish, wow. Actually kind of reminds me of a shot that Federer hit against him in the Australian Open final. At first, I was like, "Oh, it looks like the Australian Open final point," and then I realized, no, that was not Cilic. Just barely missed that serve, I guess. Yeah, we have the electronic line calling here. I think in Chengdu it's like usual challenges. All right. Anyway, 3 games all. Sorry, the ATP actually did this very weird this move this today, I think, which basically is that ranking was updated like with results from midweek. So Buyun Chaokete, for example, is now 96th. I thought they were gonna wait until Hangzhou and Chengdu were done, but yeah, basically that's why well, someone is texting me right now, but yeah, hopefully I won't have to adjust anything else, anything I did yesterday. Anyway, never mind. That's really not important at the moment. Nakashima serving at 3. Is this a, okay? It's an ace of the second serve, I think, right on the line. That's quite crucial. Let's see if Cilic can apply any pressure again. It's a decent return, but Nakashima will have him moving a bit. But Cilic back in control. Going forehand line, and I think he just missed it. Wasn't exactly the cleanest of... No, actually, he landed it. Okay, never mind. So again, 15-30. I mean, this is the third time, I think, this match that Cilic has a 15-30 lead on the Nakashima serve. Okay. The ball dropped so short. I was thinking he must have mishit it a little bit, but no, it was bang on the line. So 15:30 now. But Nakashima out wide, he finds an ace again. It's literally it's literal. I mean, it's not the same serve, but it's the same direction and it's the same story, the same situation. We also have the Chengdu semis going on right now. Of course, I will maybe check the scores on the changeover. But again, it's a decent serve from Nakashima. This time, Chi isn't quite able to block it into the court, so it might be yet another 15:30 lead that Chi is not able to convert. 40:30 Nakashima at the body, which I think he also did in the last game at 40:30. Of course, it was from the other side of the court, but I think he did that too. This time less successfully, though. Cilic was maybe better prepared for it and then simply got into a rally where the Brandon forehand eventually sprayed. That shot used to be a pretty big weakness for Nakashima, of course. Right now, I think it's much, much better than in the past. It's gotten to a point where it's like barely a liability anymore for the most part. Sometimes he even has days when he's like very aggressive with it. But yeah, deuce and a second serve as well. So this is the moment maybe for Cilic to try to attack. He actually moves back a little bit with his return position, tries to give himself a bit more time. It works, like in terms of getting into the rally. Yes, he is in it. Tries to go backhand line, but that's going to be long. It's not a bad attempt, although to be honest with you, if on the second serve he needed to move back that much, I mean, sure, he gave himself a lot of time and he got the return in play. But at the same time, well, it was tough for him to take over and actually get back to the baseline from that position. Anyway, Nakashima tries to serve and volley, gets the game. So another one where Cilic is reasonably close, but it doesn't happen. Cilic slicing, is that a tactic that is effective against Nakashima? I think it could be. Off the forehand, especially, Brandon might be struggling to get that ball. But I guess we didn't really see him targeting the Nakashima forehand with that slice, right? I mean, the slices were mostly crossed, I think, from Cilic. So I don't know. We'll see. But I think it could be. There's certainly like certain elements of the game right now that Marin is employing today that I think are like specifically for Nakashima. We haven't maybe seen it pay off, or we haven't really seen it, work well enough where we would be like, okay, yeah, that's the right idea. But I think he's definitely come out with some sort of a plan at least, which isn't that obvious for players who are this aggressive. I think sometimes they're just like, okay, I'm gonna focus on my game. I'm gonna hit my patterns. I'm gonna hit my targets, and that's it really. And well, that's fair too sometimes. By the way, Shramkova winning again, this time via retirement against Jidansek, so she can keep going. She's got one more match to play in Beijing, of course. Or actually, is it two more matches? Are the Beijing qualies 3 steps? I think they might be, right? So yeah, how is Shramkova gonna do it? Can she really win 3 matches in a row now after traveling from Hua Hin? Is it three rounds in the qualifying? Let me see. No, it's just one. Okay, never mind then. I mean, it's just two. So she only has to beat Polina Kudermetova. Okay, that's doable. I think she might qualify tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, I was gonna mention the Chengdu semis. They started like half an hour before Hangzhou, and that was Musetti against Kakhmazov, and Lorenzo won the first set 6-4. Kakhmazov, of course, also one of the more unexpected runs into the semis. I mean, I said also because of his ranking, and Cilic is also lower ranked. But I mean, Cilic, of course, well, former Grand Slam champion, 3-time Grand Slam finalist. So it's not quite like that. But yeah, with Alibek Kakhmazov, that's of course more out of the blue. And well, let's see if today he can also keep this going. Musetti actually is the first player to take a set of him this week out of 5 matches already before. Well, 5 before today. But yeah, of course, Lorenzo a big favorite today, and then he will play Yuncheng Shang or Yannick Hanfmann. I have to say, a Shang Musetti final would be very, very nice for the event, I think. Here, what's the best option? I mean, Cilic against one of the Chinese guys, right? But I think Nakashima against one of the Chinese guys, it's also fine. It's not a bad match. It's not a bad final at all. Been a fun week in Chengdu and Hangzhou, to be honest. I mean, I understand that if someone is like looking for top 20 action, probably not too pleased with how it's been going. But personally, I mean, this is exactly the type of ATP events that I enjoy. Exactly the sort of ranking and caliber of players. Well, Nakashima trying to go very deep on that backhand return, and I think he might have made it, which indeed generates an error from Cilic. I don't know if it was super clean from Brandon, but getting it right on the baseline here is crucial, and it's a 15-30 the other way now. Nakashima saved a lot of these 15-30 chances. Now it's Cilic's turn to show that he also can do it. And well, 15-30 second serve. This might get pretty tricky. And yeah, Brandon hunting another deep return down the middle. Like Nakashima so far in this match, he's just not paying any attention to like angles, placement of his ball. He's width, if you may, like maybe placement, of course, he's paying attention to in terms of depth. And down the middle is also a placement. But yeah, zero width on his shots. He's just trying to play deep and just make sure Cilic doesn't attack him. And to be honest, it's working, right? Blocks his next return, but Cilic has him on the stretch. Really should be taking this point. Ooh, but that's a mishap. I mean, he was trying to delay the stroke and he kind of overdid it. But, well, still, in the end, he takes the point with this once again. It's that beautiful from the middle of the court. If there's a high ball, cross court forehand is just a rocket from Marin. But yeah, it's pretty funny to think about this that yeah, I think Brandon is just literally hitting deep balls in the middle, and that's all his strategy. But that might as well work. Anyway, what I was gonna say earlier that like Cilic had this funny moment when he was trying to delay the stroke, see where Nakashima goes, and actually instead he just gave gave back his advantage. But well, in the end, of course, he fires another one of these trademark forehands cross court, and also saves the next breakpoint with a big serve out wide. So that's 40 all now. Definitely liking this match so far. To be honest, as I said at the very beginning, I was a little pessimistic regarding Chief's chances after yesterday. Didn't know if he was going to have enough in the tank. But, I mean, so far, it's playing very well. And this is a great combination too. I mean, this is just, classic. Out wide, backhand into the other corner, and it gives him a game point to get us to 4-all. These conditions in Hangzhou are pretty quick too. I mean, Chengdu, of course, gets their bad rep because of the 500 altitude and kind of tough to control the ball, but Hangzhou is not that slow either. I guess a lot of these China courts are very fast. Shanghai, of course, included. Beijing tends to be pretty slow, actually, but I mean, slower at least. But I know that there were also a lot of Chinese challengers, especially back in the day, that were just rapid. And right now, maybe a little less. I mean, I think they are more moderate for the most part. But then again, I mean, it's not like they're slow either. They like their fast hardcores there. And it also then shows up in like the type of players that emerge, right? I mean, Jiren Zhang, Buin Chao Kete, Yuncheng Shang, Yibing Wu especially, maybe. They all have such fantastic feel for the ball as well. And that could also be a kind of a byproduct of that. Anyway, 4 games all, and what a combination here from Cilic on the first point of the 9th game. Gets Nakashima to slice and eventually just steps around, fires that inside-out bullet. Can he push for that break again? I mean, this has definitely been an entertaining 4-all no breaks set. It's not just botting, there's a lot of opportunities, but there's some botting involved too, and that's ridiculous serve from Nakashima. That's just ungettable, like literally ungettable. And that's, as I said earlier, like probably the biggest improvement of Brandon right now compared to 2022 when he was at a similar ranking. This one is a let though, although again it seemed like the spot serving, the precision was gonna be good. Anyway, I mean 15-30 for like the fourth time this match, I think, on the Nakashima serve in 5 games. I have to check if maybe not the fifth, but probably not. And Cilic gets what he wants right now. Yes, is that deep return, and this time that high ball in the middle. Like he's not gonna take it cross court this time because he's already on the backhand side of the court, but he's gonna run around, fire the inside out winner, and this is the clearest chance that Marin has had so far in this match. Saved 2 breakpoints in the previous game. Well, now is the time. Now is the time to convert, I think. Yeah, there was only one Nakashima game that didn't go to 30-15 Cilic. Endless 30-15s. Literally endless 30-15s. Second serve from Brandon. Cilic firing at pretty decent return. He gets back to the baseline, going for that forehand to forehand rally with Nakashima, and he's gonna force Brandon to slice, and that slice is gonna float. What a start, honestly. What a start from Marin Cilic. 5-4. Of course, saved the 2 breakpoints, right? And one of them was, one of them was a big rally. One of them was a point which he could have lost. But still, I mean, he's gonna be serving for the set, and so far showing absolutely no signs of fatigue, playing very smart as well. Whereas Brandon, yeah, he's just trying to serve well and play deep down the middle. And I don't know. So far, it's kind of cutting it, but after he lost that game, obviously, it's not anymore. Has to look for a rebreak in the next game, otherwise he's down a set. How the hell did Janvier lose? I mean, Keen, that's not a serious question, right? I mean, Maxime Janvier can lose anytime, literally anytime. Oh, that's an interesting one from Sean 10 minutes ago. Hopefully, he's still here. Which of the Americans do you think will be highest in the rankings by the end of 2023? Woohoo. Shelton or Fritz? Is that fair? I mean, I don't think it's Frances. I think Frances has had well, I mean, he had a great chance at the US Open. He had that Cincinnati final. But is he going to be doing this over the course of the full year? No. Korda, I'm kind of losing hope he'll ever be as consistent as some other players from his country. Tommy Paul, I just don't think his ceiling is that high. Shelton should be improving, I think. I think Shelton, even if this year is maybe like, yeah, just stabilization, 2025 should be where he maybe hits something again. And then Fritz, I kind of just think it will remain consistent. I don't know if he's gonna make another Grand Slam final. Odds are probably not, but he should remain a pretty consistent player at the top. So yeah, I think Shelton and Fritz kind of are my answers. Of the back row, I mean, not really anybody, right? I mean, Mikkelsen, Nakashima. Yeah, I don't think they can get to these sort of heights, unless I'm forgetting about somebody. And to be honest, Keen, I would have to watch Eliakim Koulibaly again. I don't think I have for like a year or so. So Cilic is another level of brutal. Wouldn't we find like similar losses for Janvier recently? I think we could. I mean, okay, yeah, we won't find losses where the other player hasn't won a singles match in 2 years, but Like Janvier has been losing matches like this. Like if you want Jonathan Iseric to qualify, Jonathan, I don't know actually how to pronounce it, but Jonathan Iseric to qualify for a challenger, like Janvier is the perfect option. You know, just serve well, keep the ball in play more or less, and you are likely to win. Who did he lose to recent? Actually, the recent losses for Janvier, they've all been to like decent players. I guess Janvier this year hasn't really had like this absolutely horrible loss, other than Obriot in the Quimper qualifying in January. But yeah, actually this year the Janvier losses have been rather solid. Surprised to see it. But I'm sure last year there was something absolutely outstanding from him or something like that. Yeah, like Gavrielides in Braunschweig. Uh, hmm. Hmm. Yeah, maybe I'm kind of overrating the players that are beating. Actually, maybe I'm underrating the group of players that are regularly beating Janvier. Maybe you're not wrong there. Although still, it's not really a win that surprises me in the slightest, to be honest. That's simply what I expect from Janvier. Anyway, 30-15 Cilic. I think he sends this backhand cross court out. Yes, so it's very all. Pretty reckless. I mean, not really reckless even, but I don't know. He just didn't even get into this with the right timing. Just 2 points away from the set, but also 2 points away from Nakashima breaking back. So has to stay clean here. Eyes on the prize, focus. Let's see if he is able to do it. It's a good serve out wide, and that's going to give him the set point. Big reaction from Cilic as well, the clenched fist. I think really needed that after the last point. And now, let's see. I mean, first set to Marin Cilic here is a slightly unexpected development, I think. But so far, he's really proving everything we've been saying about his game being, well, still very much, almost intact. Gets the block return from Nakashima, forehand cross again. Lovely stuff. It's going to be first set Marin Cilic, and so far, absolutely no signs of fatigue. So far, just a bit of a masterclass, I would even say. Like, of course, there's been some errors, but they're always going to be there if you're playing very aggressively. And yeah, I think he's really playing a very sound tactical match as well, and just dominating Nakashima in a way. Even though these breakpoints, could have really turned the set around. But off the ground, Cilic has been by far the better player, winning 84% of points on the Nakashima second serve. That tells you why there have been so many 15-30 chances. Also, even on first serve, Cilic 85, Nakashima 68. Like, I know what happened in terms of the breakpoints and stuff, but of the stats, this set doesn't even look that close, to be honest. And I mean, eye test, has it looked that close? Off the ground, Nakashima is just not doing anything so far. Maybe we'll see some reaction from Brando, maybe we're gonna see some response to this, because yeah, so far he's just letting Cilic kind of walk all over him off the ground. Sure, got to these two breakpoints, couldn't convert them, and well, he's paid the price. But yeah, maybe you're actually right that well, even if we know that Janvier can lose to anyone, Aesthetic is kind of different level than the players that he usually loses to. Yeah. Shramkova still rolling, indeed. Right. So much more firepower off the ground. The thing is, I think, of course, yeah, Cilic. I mean, who has more firepower than Cilic? But I think Nakashima has firepower off the ground. He's just kind of not willing to use it in a, let's say, a more creative way, like open up the courts today. He's really just very content hitting a deep, pacey ball at the middle, and it's not enough here. Especially against Cilic, right? I mean, you are playing a guy who's almost 36. Like, you gotta try to move him a little bit at least. You're playing a guy who had major physical issues the last couple of seasons. I don't know if this is right in the Brandon comfort zone, though. Like he's definitely a player who kind of gets stuck in his shell a little bit from time to time. So yeah, we'll see what the reaction is from him. But so far he's playing a very tame match, just kind of hanging in based on the quality of his serve. But otherwise, it's Cilic dealing the cards and yeah, just calling the shots. And so far, it hasn't paid off. Like it could, Cilic, of course, is still far from like his top match fitness, match sharpness. He might just have a pretty horrible patch of play and lose his serve twice or something like that. I don't know. It's possible, but I mean, so far he's just playing a bit too good for that to happen. Do you think Nakashima winning the set? I mean, it's a tennis match. They have to play it. So far, he's super tame and not doing any not doing any damage to Cilic besides the serve. It's fully on Marin's racket. Like he controls the points. He is the if he wins the points or not. If we see any reaction from Brandon, if we see any attempt to change up this uh, predicament. And if we see Cilic actually dropping his level quite a bit, of course, Nakashima is still very much in this. Then he had 2 breakpoints to potentially serve for the set in the opener. So I mean, it's definitely not crystal clear who's gonna win this one. And while Brandon is winning this pretty easily, I can tell you that Musetti and Kakhmazov are still on serve in the second set, only third game. Of course, Lorenzo winning the first set 6-4. Forty love up Nakashima. Cilic trying to push for something here, but I think it's just going to be out with this forehand. So first game for Brandon. The easiest service game that he's had so far in the match, right? I mean, 4 or 5 of them went to 15-30. 4 out of 5 earlier in the opener went to 15-30. One was like a hold to 15 or something like that. But yeah, he starts the second set serving as well. Maybe that will be some sort of a. I mean, he also started the first set serving. I mean, but that could be always some sort of help. On Friday, I tested one of the gadgets that we got from the event in Porto, me and John. Well, it turned out to be a little. Well, like it tore very quickly, but nice of them to give us something. It was a bit of a one-use bag for me because yeah, it tore. Although if there's some like very small stuff that I have to fit in and that I have and I have to carry somewhere, maybe I will still use it. But yeah, it tore pretty quickly here. That's for sure. I don't know I'm even talking about that, but it was lying there, sort of in my sight, so I figured I might as well. 15 of Cilic goes T here with the second serve, approaching the net and will let this ball go. He is right. The passing shot from Nakashima is not going to land in the court. Cilic have big serve too. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both of them, if they just stay clean on serve, we might as well see a tiebreak or something like that. Brandon's big serve was kind of going to be one of the main assets going for him in this match if Cilic was going to be tired right after the Uchiyama win, which was a thriller, but it doesn't look like it so far. We'll see how much he can extend this. For the love, it actually landed in. Okay. This time it was Nakashima letting a passing shot go from Cilic, and it landed on the baseline. So it's a hold to love for the crowd. Both of them starting, in fact, with a hold to love in this second set. Hangzhou, of course, this is the inaugural edition of this event. Chengdu was first organized in 2016, then had a break between 2020 to 2022, of course, along the COVID-19 pandemic. Hangzhou, though, this actual venue held the Asian Games tennis event last year, so it's not the first time it sees tennis, that's for sure. That tournament was won by Zhiren Zhang. Maybe he can also win this event. Cilic up in the first point on the Nakashima serve here, but I think Brandon has withstood the power, and yes, that will eventually end with Cilic gifting him an error, although I can't quite say it was gifted. Nakashima had to survive that one big backhand blow earlier, blocked it into the court pretty well, and that's, well, he definitely earned that error from Cilic here, I would say. That's a great return. Can Cilic this time step it up? Net court doesn't help Cilic here. Nakashima should be able to just manage to out rally him from that point. And maybe this is a bit of a sign for Nakashima, just you see what happened when you actually had Cilic on the move, when you had him on the stretch. Yeah, he wasn't as dangerous anymore. And well, of course, it needed that net court from Cilic for that position to arrive for Brandon, but it really should tell him something regarding the passive approach he had to his baseline game in the first set. Well, that's a good return from Cilic. Third time in this game, but he's not winning these points. Well, finally he is. Kind of going for really quick pace of the ground, both guys here. And Cilic holds up a bit better in that blow for blow trade. Nakashima with the ace out wide as well. Might grab some water on the changeover. I might mention the Tokyo qualifying results from earlier today. That's also something. I mean, Tokyo is going to start on Wednesday, if you're not aware, and Beijing is going to start on Thursday. So Beijing qualifying begins tomorrow, but Tokyo already started today. And there were a few interesting results there for sure. Cilic gets this point, and it's going to be 40-30 Nakashima. Maybe shouldn't give up on this game yet, like I did. This net court doesn't necessarily help Nakashima, but actually, in the end, he manages to make it work. Slice approach at the Cilic backhand. Marin won't get it into play. So 2-1 Nakashima. So far, so good for him in the second set. Cilic was value today. He was a huge underdog, Gene. Yeah, I didn't think he was, though, because because I didn't think he was going to have much in the tank after the Uchiyama match. But I think Cilic, you're very right that the odds makers, they haven't caught up to Cilic yet. They haven't caught up to how well he's playing. And I think on, especially against Nishioka, for example, in the second round, he was also an underdog, which I thought was just straight up wrong. But yeah, it's not going to be long. Like if Cilic keeps playing at this quality, they're going to catch up to him soon, obviously. What was I going to talk about? Tokyo qualifying. So we had Luca Nardi beating Rei Sakamoto, who apparently said that this was the most nervous he ever felt on the court. Watanuki still not able to get anything going after coming back from all these injuries. Bellucci was actually in a bit of trouble against Miller. I think next he's going to play Hijikata, who defeated Vukic in 3 tiebreaks. Of course, Mattia once again very close to breaking the top 100. We have Alex Mikkelsen playing Yasutaka Uchiyama as well. Chris O'Connell beating Yasutaka Uchiyama. Chris O'Connell defeated Virtanen. Choric over Jumhur as well. And I only watched one of these matches, which was Kovacevic against Taro Daniel. That was actually pretty entertaining. Taro was leading first. Both players really needing wins right now because they have been struggling for a while. Taro especially, I mean, since the Auckland final, just hasn't done anything, and he's not even in the top 100 in the race. And Taro was leading for a while, but then Kova saved too much points, a brilliant backhand cross-court winner, and was the better player all the way until the deciding set tiebreak, where his game kind of fell apart. So it was Taro Daniel claiming the win. Very important for him. I mean, last year, if you remember, around this time, he also didn't have his top 100 finish secured, and he went to play free challengers in Sydney, I think, Matsuyama and Playford, maybe. Playford semi, Matsuyama semi, and definitely won one, Sydney, I think. But well, we'll see what his strategy is this time. But yeah, these last three challengers at the end of 2023, they really saved his season. Maybe this time he's gonna go for something similar, or maybe this time Tokyo Run. He qualifies tomorrow, and well, it will be open. Anyway, Cilic back serving at 1-2. Of course, the qualifying of Tokyo will finish tomorrow, and yeah, tomorrow there's also going to be the first round of the qualifying in Beijing. I'm talking about the ATP events, of course. The first round of the WTA Beijing qualifying was already today. Very confusing calendars, I have to say, the last couple of weeks here. Definitely, especially the fact that Tokyo is starting its main draw on Friday, and then it's going to finish on Tuesday, whereas Beijing is starting its main draw on no, wait, sorry. Tokyo is starting its main draw on Wednesday and it's going to finish on Tuesday. And Beijing is starting its main draw on Thursday and it's going to finish on Wednesday. Why on earth? Like, why wouldn't you just make it the same? But well. Cilic trying to step into the court here. That short slice from Nakashima working very, very well. But earlier there were a couple of unreturned serves where Brandon was trying to, well, get pretty close to the line, but didn't. Cilic, of course, before Hangzhou, he actually went the challenger route, right, to try to come back. He took it a bit slower. He played Cassis, he played Mallorca, and I know some people were like pretty pessimistic after his results there. For example, the loss to Soriano Barrera, especially in Cassis. But I think it was a very good strategy, and it's really paying off. You could see that it was just much sharpness he was lacking. That he wasn't actually missing all that much, other than literally rhythm. Oh wow, that's a great backhand return from Nakashima. Steps into the second serve return. You could see how the ball kind of, was out of the court for a while, but then just sways it way back in. And well, 30 all, another unreturned serve for Cilic. So they have been coming really clutch, coming in really clutch in this game. 3 out of 5 points unreturned serves, and it's Cilic leading 40-30. So he's yet to win a rally. Will he have to win a rally to win this game? Is now the question that pops up. Well, he might, as this first serve was miles out. Obviously, Nakashima might also miss a second serve return. It's not a given. We might also get to deuce and stuff. But no, the return is in play. Cilic coming up with the slice to the Nakashima backhand. It's pretty interesting. Well, he wins the point eventually. I think the slice was clearly a very spontaneous inclusion, which made me think that he might not give himself enough time to play it, but he landed it in, then basically followed it up with a great cross-court backhand, gets Nakashima to hit into the net. So he does win a rally eventually, and it's going to be 2 games all. So far, no fireworks in the second set from either player. No games where we're like stuck thinking, oh, who's going to win this one? But of course, as we get deeper and deeper into the set, the pressure might kind of start rising for either player. Cilic again, well, he's on top of Nakashima in this rally, and eventually he's gonna get an error from Brandon. I think, to Nakashima's credit, maybe he was trying to get something going here, try to find a forehand angle that would open up the court a bit, but I don't know. It was just mishit a little bit. It was just basically allowed Cilic to get that high ball forehand cross court, which he loves. And the serving out wide from Nakashima has been especially stunning. Once again, he gets a very important point with an ace in that direction. 7 aces so far to Cilic's 3. 7 out of 40 something points. Yeah, that's a very high ace rate for sure. That's not an ace, but that is a very good serve again. Got that first point done, Cilic, with a long rally, but after that, it's pretty disheartening. But yeah, that's how well Nakashima is serving at the moment. I think he just missed this one down the tee, though. Tries to surprise Cilic by serving to his forehand. Marin is not. Yeah, I mean, Marin definitely wasn't confused or stunned. Oh. Okay, the previous point in the previous shot in the rally, yes, it was a net court, but the last one was just a forehand that was probably faster than the Nakashima serve. Yeah, this one was a net court. I thought so, but then Nakashima has to lift it again, and Cilic with that inside out right on the line. 30 all now. Nakashima cannot make the first serve. Cilic again moving a bit backwards on the second serve return. Gives himself time. Gets into the point, but he's gonna dump the backhand into the net. Yeah, I don't know if I like this that much from Cilic, to be honest. Again, it just felt like he would have been in a much more comfortable position to hit that last backhand if he was literally a meter further into the court. But well, at least he's making these second serve returns, so that's good. 40-30 Nakashima anyway. And this will be an easy put away for him on the +1 forehand. Again goes at the body, 40-30. I think we kind of have to note that he's done this a lot of times this match. And, well, you could say it's predictable, but I think it's a good spot to try something like that for sure. Anyway, after an hour and 3 minutes, Brandon Nakashima leading 3-2 in the second set. How that the scoreboard has been updating. Yes, indeed. Return of daddy eyebrows. I think that must be Cilic, but I don't know. Binak to win the poll, but Cilic is looking pretty good. Yeah, Dave, at the beginning of the stream, I actually said I don't really believe in Cilic's chances to win this match. I mean, I thought that after yesterday he was going to be tired, But so far, no signs of fatigue whatsoever. I don't really know if that means that he has to win this in 2 or something like that. Tough to say. But certainly so far, I think he's been the better player, the more active player, the one who's got more to say off the ground. And now it's just up to him to try to deliver with the result, with the match and everything. All right. Musetti looks like he's going to be good to go against Kakhmazov. 6-4, 5-1. The stunning run of the Russian comes to an end probably. I mean, of course, there's still a comeback possibility, but it's pretty slim right now. I think we have to agree. Kakhmazov, a very good fast court player, that's for sure. When it's slick, when it's fast, he can be dangerous. It's pretty funny that his best ATP Tour result is now also his best challenger result. I mean, semifinal. 2 semifinals on the challenger level, I guess, if we want to be correct this year. Blois and Vuxi, I think. Vuxi also in China. And yeah, you can see a very clear correlation between the type of courts that he enjoys. Astana last year as well, he looked very good on the main tour. I guess that wasn't as fast, but it definitely was slick. This is an interesting point. Nakashima finally gets Cilic on the move, but Cilic somehow survives. with that backhand slice. Nakashima should be a little bit better in this one, but no, Cilic holds up. Longest rally of the match by far, I think. I don't know if we're gonna get the count. Like my feed is pretty basic, I feel like, with the stats and everything. So probably we're not going to. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. Cilic a couple of times almost out of the points on the stretch, but this time he held up quite a lot better than in some of the previous points where Nakashima had him on the back foot and was just, yeah, basically Brandon peaks where he's gonna go for a winner. So yeah, that's a very important point, I think, for Cilic to win a rally like this, to show that he can win a rally like this to Brandon, to himself. Also, we know how even that first point of the game tends to be really, really crucial. I like the move from Nakashima here. Deep return at the middle again, but then really like steps in, tries to go for a winner, forehand inside out. I mean, should have made it, to be honest, but the idea was right. He had Cilic on the ropes there, just didn't land the final punch. 30 all for Cilic now. Down the tee, probably out, I guess, but I must have been very, very close, to be honest. I don't see the close goal on my screen. That's an interesting second serve. I wonder if he actually did it, you know, if he wanted to play it like this. Like it was very short. And that kind of caught out Nakashima, actually. That short serve at the body. Uh, I don't know how, how close it was to what Cheech had in mind. But it did the trick for sure. 40 love. Oh, trying to take this forehead very early, Chilich, but yeah, that was a 40 love plan. Like that's not a shot he would have hit at match point down, for example. But yeah, even that sort of carelessness can be punished sometimes. So let's see if that will happen. Nope, as there's an ace down the tee from Chilich here. 3 games all. New balls, I think. Gonna be Nakashima, of course, serving with them. Cheech not changing his racket, interestingly. Players generally do. Nakashima is, though. Well, the new ball's already having an impact. That body serve was very, very threatening. Especially the way it kind of bounced off the Chilich racket. A little like uncontrollably. And yeah, once more, to be honest, like it's the same thing really on this next point. This time Nakashima going for a drop shot. Okay. I mean, pretty much first time in the match. Not surprised that Cilic was not ready for it. And yeah, good play. 40 love should be a quick game for Brandon, it seems. He's really making use of the new balls, that's for sure. Especially with the first 2 points, obviously. Again goes at the body of Cilic when he's trying to close out the game. Does the trick. 4-3 Nakashima. And I don't think we've had a breakpoint so far in the second set. So we are more than halfway on the way to a breaker. And Lorenzo Musetti, by the way, at the same time has 2 match points against Aybek Kakhmazov. In fact, he had even 3, but Kakhmazov has already saved 1. Let's see if he manages to convert that. Surprise Cilic is only 35. He feels older than that for some reason. Yeah, he kind of feels like the Cilic Wawrinka generation, but it's not really. I mean, Wawrinka obviously had a later breakthrough as well, which probably contributes, right? Because Cilic, Wawrinka, like they had breakthroughs, or at least they're like big breakthroughs. They had them at the similar, um, like at a very similar stage of, well, let's say in a similar, in pretty much the same year or basically at the same time. But of course, Stan was much older, so maybe that's how it feels. Maybe in comparison to him, for example. Cilic and Wawrinka definitely feel to me like they're from the same generation, but yeah, they're not. So yeah, one or two more seasons for Marin. Why not? Cilic is really forcing Nakashima to get out of his comfort zone. Yeah, that's true. And so far, eh, I mean, we haven't really seen it all that much, I guess. But I mean, he's doing much better in the second set, obviously, than the first. Cilic's kit, what brand is that? I don't know. Can anyone tell Dave? I don't really look at kits, and some of them I obviously do kind of know. Just you know, people talk about them and everything, but I'm not positive regarding this one. I think Cilic used to be associated with Fila a lot, right? But that was like years back. So probably a different sponsor right now. I actually found a photo on his Instagram where there's the brand name like very clearly here. But because I don't have an Instagram account, I'm kind of struggling to get there. Iron Max or something like that is one of his sponsors. Is that no? But that's something related to like nutrition, or is that the brand for his clothing as well? Iron Max? I don't know. Otherwise, I think it's just like head or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, as I said, I'm not really an expert in the topics. Just kind of checking his Instagram here. Yeah. Anyway, never mind. 3015. And Brandon can't quite handle the pace of the cross-court backhand from Cilic, so 30-15 now. 40-15. This set, of course, have been very different compared to the previous one, that's for sure. Cilic again trying to kind of force this backhand slice in. I'm not sure how to describe it, but again, it looked very uncomfortable and as if he was late on the ball. And this time he actually paid the price for that. I don't know. It's just coming off shots that don't really feel necessary, I guess. But anyway, yeah, still 40-30, so he can just close out this game and forget all about it if he finds a big serve, basically. That's the easiest way to forget about stuff. The other is alcohol or drugs. But I recommend big serves, especially over drugs. Well, was not a big serve. I mean, it was a big serve, but it wasn't in the court. Brandon, not really trying to attack. Again, Cilic is incorporating the slice, and he's not gonna win this rally. Uh, 2 points already like this in this game, where he's just kind of forcing this slice into the point and not really sure for what reason. Like it wasn't a big shot coming at him from Brandon, you know. He could have just gone with his backhand cross, maybe down the line even. But I don't know. Anyway, deuce here. An ace from Nakashima, an ace from Cilic. Nakashima is confused for some reason. I mean, it looked to me like Brandon went to his backhand side, and then of course it was an outright serve. But I'm not sure why Brandon was that confused. Anyway, it also seems like with this serve, Cilic broke his strings, so he needs to swap out that racket now. Didn't do it at the change of balls, but needs to now. Maybe just doesn't have too many, you know. Has been off the court for like almost 2 years. Maybe he lost all his rackets. They're in his attic or something, in wherever he lives. Anyway, ace down the tee for Marin here. 6-4 for all. Okay, this briefly got complicated for Cilic, but he gets himself out of trouble. Literally serves himself out of trouble as well, the last 2 points. So he took that. Yeah, eventually he took that advice about the big serves being the easiest way to forget about other errors. And yeah, of course, in case you guys didn't know, in the meantime, Lorenzo Musetti did manage to get into the Chengdu final, 6-4, 6-2. He's already played 2 finals this year, lost both of them, but of course has 2 ATP Tour titles from 2022. One of them on outdoor hard courts in Naples. Is going to have a good shot tomorrow at either Yannick Hanfmann or Yuncheng Shang. Well, Cilic gets the first point in the 4-all game. This is where he broke Brandon in the opening set. Let's see if these memories are going to be in Brandon's mind, especially. Well, gets the second serve in play, but the return is deep from Cilic. However, nice pickup from Nakashima. Marin trying to get there and just kind of get it over the net. But again, on the stretch, you know, he's not maybe as fast as before. Maybe that can also improve. I think that the raw velocity still can kind of get a bit better as he plays more matches simply. But yeah, that pickup from Nakashima down the line, it really decides that point. Could very well be very like key in terms of this whole game as well. Although this next rally, I mean, Cilic is somehow in this. Tries to go forehand line, but I think he will just barely miss it, yeah. The Nakashima box not looking too jolly, if you may. Once again, the Nakashima forehand was a little wobbly here, but Cilic did not take this opportunity that it opened up for him. And looks like Nakashima will be out of this eventually. 40-15. Nakashima, of course, I mean, he also has an ATP Tour title to his name, but, well, last year it was such a rough time for him. It would be definitely pretty special to get back up there. And for Cilic, 2 years since he last made one in Tel Aviv, but I mean, he barely played over the last 2 years. 5 for Nakashima. Still no breaks in the second set. Yeah, I think he's wearing head, and that Iron Max is just some nutritional thing. I am going bold. I think Squire can take the Lisbon title. Oof, that is quite bold. Let me see what his draw is. And yeah, Dave, I think that's pretty clear, right? If you're playing a 35-year-old almost 36, who's been out of for like 2 years due to knee injuries and stuff. Like obviously you need to move him a bit more, but yeah, Brandon is really struggling to find ways to do it. He's been very linear with his shots today, and it's not working out. Let me see the draw. I will tell you that I had some issues, Keen, because I was recording the Challenger pod this morning. Actually, I had some issues picking the winner in Lisbon. Squire, yeah, but I mean it's not gonna be easy. I think I went for a player in his quarter actually. But yeah, my main issues were that, of course, Monteiro is out, and the two players that I kind of wanted to go for were Coligno and Kovalik, and they can meet in the second round. So I don't want to get into this, you know. So I think eventually I went for a player who's in the Squire quarter, but I don't know. What tells you that Henry can win Lisbon? Has he even been playing that well recently? I don't know. Like, of course he can, but so can Richard, so can Gea, so can half the players in the draw. I think. But yeah, I like the bold picks. Unfortunately, I didn't go for any on this particular episode. I was very, very obvious with my selections. It is what it is sometimes. I feel like I'm on a decent run though. The last few weeks, I feel like I'm getting a point almost every week. I should really like catalog this. Anyway, never mind. 4-5 Cilic, trying to serve to stay in the set. I mean, I kind of want to say that this second set has been a lot closer. Cilic, both Cilic and Nakashima have their moments when you think, okay, this might be when they turn the screw. This might be when they kind of run away with something finally, and eventually never really pans out so far in this set. But I mean, yeah, we can definitely say it's been closer in terms of just like the eye test, right? Because yeah, of course, Brandon also had two breakpoints to serve for the set in the opener. We cannot forget that. But in terms of like the eye test, yeah, he's pushing Cilic a bit more right now, a bit more at least. Deep return from Nakashima actually gave him a point, but now Cilic with the ace out wide, just 173, but if it's placed well enough, if the spin is good, doesn't really matter. It's an out return from Nakashima. I mean, it's going for the right shot, but not this time. Pretty similar return to what he hit to win the second point in this game. Just this time, out the not hitting the baseline literally. Anyway, for the 15, Marin Cilic, can he get us to 5-all? Of course, with another great serve down the tee. 5-all. We are very close to that tiebreak now. Let's see if anyone cracks before and if we actually get there. He did break his strings, Cilic, with that ace. I saw that on Twitter as well just a second ago when I was looking for something. Anyway. Does the Cilic return find the baseline here? Probably not. Nakashima, the thing with Nakashima is that he is like not reacting to anything on the court. And sometimes it's very hard to say whether someone landed a shot or not. Because a lot of the time, you like kind of, when you're not sure on an out call, you kind of base your understanding of this situation on the reaction of the players, right? And Nakashima is just like, he's got that poker face, and I can't really guess anything based on his facial expression or gestures, really. That's a nice angle on the forehand cross from forehand inside out, even from Cilic. So it's going to be 15-all. There was this point in at the beginning of the second set when first Cilic lets a passing shot from Nakashima go and it's out, and then on the next point I'm thinking it's actually the same, but actually Cilic landed the baseline there. It's just that based on Nakashima's reaction, I had no idea, or rather lack thereof, reaction or lack thereof. Yeah, 8 aces for Nakashima now and 7 for Cilic. So we remember that the ace count at some point was 7-3 for Brandon. So it's gotten much closer. But of course, the fact that I'm talking about the ace count kind of suggests that Brandon just hit an ace, which he did. And he also hit this great serve at the Cilic forehand, which gives him the point right away. So it looks like Nakashima should be able to do his part of the job in getting us to that tiebreak. And well, soon enough, he might just throw the ball to Cilic and say, "What are you gonna do with it, friend? Are you also gonna fulfill your 6 games requirement?" Anyway, still 40-15 only. Second serve. Trading backhands. Cilic goes line, and Nakashima will not be able to slice it back into the court with his forehand. 40-30. This time the strategy of stepping back a little bit on the second serve return, I think, worked a bit better for Cilic. He got a lot of this raw pace on that first backhand, and in the meantime was able to move in already. I wonder if our friend Vansh is watching this match. I know he's taking like a bit of a mini vacation from tennis. And but well, I mean, Brandon in the semis of an ATP Tour event. I sure hope he is watching. Although it's also a horrible time zone for him if he's back home. I mean, he's like 4 a.m. right now in California. Do I rate Rinki Hijikata higher than Nakashima? Definitely not. What Nakashima agenda? What are we talking about? Brazy, no. Nah. I don't have a Nakashima agenda. I think that he's gotten to a point where he's as good as he was in 2022. I was praising his serving being kind of the main area of improvement since then. And well, I mean, so far today he's just kind of playing very passively, and we'll see if he pays the price for it. He's not moving an opponent who's vulnerable to it. And as Dave says, yeah, we are basically having these like pretty linear, very like pace oriented rallies down the middle. And if anyone breaks out from that, it's Cilic. Does Hanfman stand a chance against Jerry Shang on home soil? I think so. I mean, it's altitude, which should help. Hanfman is like an altitude specialist. Jerry, as well as he's been serving this week, which isn't really an obvious thing for him, but again, altitude. I think in terms of controlling the ball, it's not as easy for him as in usual conditions, if you may. And if Hanfman just serves well, gets to the net a lot, why not? Oh yeah, Brandon is definitely very shy. Local time 1:08 a.m. Yeah, then Vansh is definitely well. Actually, 1:08 a.m. He might be watching this and then going to bed. Actually, if I know he was in Hawaii, I'm just not sure if he's still there. But I know he went to Hawaii on a vacation. Rinki Hijikata is definitely not as good as Brandon Nakashima. I think Brandon has so much more staying power at the top of the sport. And it could be an argument that, like, for people who are shy, it could be maybe even sometimes tougher to, like, yeah, do something extraordinary for their game, like, step out of that comfort zone. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, Brandon's a very nice guy. Talked to him a couple of times last year when he was playing all these challengers. Actually, once this year and once last year. In Koblenz this year and in Danderit last year. In Danderit especially, he was very fun to watch. I don't think I saw the final. I think I left after I think I left Sweden after the semi-final day, so I didn't even see him lose against Marterer. Oh well, I saw it, but on stream. But yeah, up until then, I think he was very impressive, and it kind of gave me a new perspective on his game in terms of how it evolved during that horrible 2023 season. And he's a fantastic example of using the challengers. And that whole stretch that he played, October to February, I know that some people were criticizing him even for playing so much there, like, getting his ranking to like 80, 70 and still playing challengers. But I think it worked beautifully in terms of getting his rhythm back, getting his confidence back, and also giving himself a very nice cushion in terms of the points. If these first few main tour events don't go well, he still had something to like fall back on, and they actually did go well. So, well, let's see if he can get himself into an ATP Tour final again. Now Marin Cilic is leading 40 love, so we might get that tiebreak, and of course for Nakashima, it's also, well, last chance. She still has that third set potentially to try to recover, but also that's when maybe some fatigue concerns could come into play. Who knows? Well, that's a nasty second serve kicker from Cilic. And well, 6-4, second set tiebreak. We've been kind of thinking about it most of the second set because both players were just winning their games so easily. And after, well, a bit of a shortage of exciting moments during the second set, or at least moments where, we would have some breakpoints and chances. After a shortage of that, we arrive in the tiebreak where every single point might be crucial. Brandon Nakashima about to begin it. And it's going to be on a second serve. That, of course, could also be a massive factor in this breaker. In the opening set, I haven't seen the stats for the second set yet, but in the opener, Nakashima won only 16% of second serve points. Cilic won 41. Ooh, and Nakashima was able to get to the net here, but he doesn't quite do enough to put Cilic away. Cilic saves himself with this high lob, and now he's just back in the rally with Brandon. But eventually, Nakashima is going to get that point. I mean, yeah, he was on top of it from the very beginning. It would have been a steal if Cilic claims it. So good for Brandon. He was able to kind of think clearly and still managed to keep himself in the game here. Not give that early mini break to the crowd. Anyway, 1 point to none. But now it's Cilic serving twice. Also going to start on a second serve. Goes forehand line. Nakashima is defending well, but he will not be able to do anything about that inside-out forehand. This last slice from Nakashima looked like it might as well extend the point to a moment where Cilic could make an error, but this time he stays clean. So 2 pretty entertaining points so far, but they both go to the servers. And Cilic not landing his first serve in the tiebreak yet. I mean, Nakashima didn't either, but he had just 1 point. Cilic already has 2. Pretty safe with the second serve, but that's kind of obvious at the moment, I suppose. Nakashima withstanding the pace, and Cilic is going to try to switch to backhand down the line. It's not going to work out. So Nakashima up an early mini break. First serve percentage, of course, so far combined for both players in the tiebreak is a 0. But if Nakashima could land a couple of good ones here, that would be a massive lead going into the second part of this breaker. But once again, I mean, the first serve just don't appear for the guys, and Cilic gets into a point, gets a nice angle on the backhand, and that's enough to gain an error from Brandon. So 4 points in, we have a bit of a, well, in terms of hitting their first serves, a sloppy tiebreak. They've traded mini breaks. Fifth point of the breaker. Nakashima about to serve. And once again, the serve is into the net. At least they're not double faulting. Although maybe I said it at the wrong time. No, I didn't. Ooh, but that's one of the moments when that strategy from Cilic definitely doesn't pay off. I mean, if you're moving backwards to give yourself more time on the second serve return, of course, the one thing that you don't want to do is miss that second serve return. And to be honest, it's probably like the first or second time I've seen him do it in this match. But it not move back, but miss that second serve return. But it comes at a very crucial moment. Well, not maybe not very crucial yet, but somewhat crucial. Well, finally the serve is in play from Cilic, but that doesn't stop Nakashima from producing a nice return at his feet. And once again, the edge is in, Nakashima has an edge once again. He already saved himself from, a tense tiebreak against Coleman Wong in the second round. There, I think he had to save 2 match points, maybe, or 1 match point. Anyway, he definitely saved match points, match point S, I don't know, against Wong, and Cilic, of course, as well against Uchiyama. So both of them have been almost down and out in this event and survived. Ooh. Yeah, I think it's a let. That actually could be quite crucial if Cilic can now find an ace. It just it clipped the net and it wasn't even sure like the ball was gonna fall just behind the net. Just not sure if in the court or not. But it is actually in the service box. Cilic can't turn it into an ace though. Nakashima is really like absorbing pace much better in this tiebreak than I feel like in any other game so far. But that's a lovely combination from Cilic. That's already 2 points in this breaker. Like Nakashima was defending very, very well, and on some occasions earlier, Cilic would just miss that last kill shot, but not this time. Still feels like it's Nakashima who's kind of locked in a bit more in this tiebreak. Maybe there's been more sloppy errors from Cilic, I suppose. I mean, not even one sloppy error, I guess, from Brandon. Maybe that one backhand, but it wasn't anything egregious. Definitely not. So still up a mini break, Nakashima. Cilic gets the return in play. Trading now. Well, this could be a huge rally for either player. Again, Nakashima is really withstanding pace so well in this tiebreak. He wasn't doing that the entire set, but Cilic holds up so far. 4 points all. Especially there was that one forehand that Nakashima had to take on the stretch. Like most of the match, he misses that shot, to be honest. But then Cilic fires this one line, and that's enough. But yeah, I mean, whatever happens, they've really been made to work hard in this tiebreak. That's for sure. And Brandon gets a first serve unreturned. 5-4. I mean, on serve, but the pressure is now on Cilic to win these next 2 points. Gonna be a let again. Yeah, it's crazy what Nakashima is getting back here. Cilic very fortunate to still be in the point, to be honest. Now he opens up the court for himself, but still Brandon defending like he wasn't the entire set, and he's got Cilic on the stretch now. Marin has to drop shot, like kinda drop shot, I guess. I mean, yeah, he was just trying to get to a forehand slice ball. But after that, he was just toast. He had that very nice forehand on the run himself, Cilic here. But after that, movement wise, he was gone. So yeah, this is a really stunning tiebreak from Nakashima in a way. I mean, that's shot tolerance that he was not displaying the entire set. And the reward is 2 set points. Now let's see if he can also convert it. Once again, I mean, the Cilic serve just isn't doing any damage to Nakashima in this tiebreak. It's a good slice as well, but eventually Cilic still manages to lift the ball off that backhand and get the error. So, well, this is the key point for Nakashima now, the set point on his own serve. This is the one that he absolutely needs to convert. 6-5 in the tiebreak. He's done very, very well in this one. It's not like Cilic is just feeding him errors left and right. Nakashima is a wall. And 6-5, his serve. The only shot that the opponent cannot control. But it's going to be on the second serve. Oh, wow. And the entire breaker, Nakashima wasn't cracking, but this time he sends a forehand long. And it's one of these, like, yeah, I mean, if you have technical deficiencies, which he obviously does to at least an extent on the forehand, they appear in moments like this, right? We're seeing this with so many players when the nerves are high and you're not confident in one of your motions. But well, of course, the tiebreak still isn't done. It's just 6-all. He still has one more serve. The Nakashima box looking pretty distraught by this, definitely. That was just a crack. I mean, Cilic did not do anything with his return. He just basically rolled it in play. But well, now the important thing is to regroup, of course. Get the first serve in play, and that's another, this time even off the backhand. Oh my god. I mean, these last 2 points from Brandon, that must be very disappointing. And it's actually match point Nakashima. I mean, match point Cilic now. On Cilic serve as well. Still not done, but these last 2 points. Oh, wow. And also a second serve for Cilic. So yeah, it's definitely not obvious that the match is done yet. I don't think we've seen like any double faults really from either player. Maybe one. Cilic goes big on the backhand line, and he is in the final. His first ATP Tour final since Tel Aviv 2022. 6-4, 7-6. Well, I mean, let's unpack this performance in a second. And I mean, yeah, it's going to be disappointing for Brandon. Let's look at the stats first. I mean, the only breakpoints were in the opening set. 0 out of 2 for Brandon, 1 out of 1 for Cilic. 8 aces each, only 1 double fault for Cilic. The second serve points won stats went up majorly for both players, obviously, in the second set, given that there were no tied games anymore. 82% on first serve points won for Cilic, 56 on the second. Nakashima 73 to 45. But yeah. And Marin Cilic, I mean, definitely a very sound performance from him. That I have to say. I mean, he was serving great. He was no, he knew what to target, especially early on in the Nakashima game, I think. After that, it just kind of got a lot closer in the second set when he couldn't pressure Brandon on serve anymore. And well, he still played at a very high level, executed his game. After yesterday, the Uchiyama thriller, you could think that the fatigue was maybe gonna get to him at some point, but it didn't at all. And when it comes to Nakashima, I think he did play a bit too linearly down the middle. He was just not moving Cilic at all for the most part. Didn't have any strategy in terms of, just maybe working the points a bit more in his favor. But in the tiebreak, Nakashima played so well up until 6-4. Even honestly, the 4-6 point was really good. And then just the crack comes, the 5-6 point, the 6-0 point. He puts the serve in, and the first ground stroke is just a shank. What else can you say? I mean, he was playing great up until the 6-5 point in the breaker, and he just cracks on the next 2 points, like completely. So that will be very disappointing to Brandon. As for Cilic, number 777 before Hangzhou began. He's into the final, and what a story it is already. And clearly he has a lot of game left. I think I've been saying that, for almost the entire year, even when he had that another knee problem at the beginning of the season. But it's becoming very clear right now that, he still has the level. I don't know how much the physicality, the potential, injuries that he could pick up will allow him for. Of course, he's going to be 36 in 5 days. But his game is intact, more or less. He might be a bit like a half a step slow, but it's really not like his game has undergone any major deficiencies and whatever. Yes, Musetti did win. First time anyone gets to the net, Dave. Yeah. Anyway, what else was there in the chat? Shang is already up a break as well. The ball bouncing routine, yes. The Cilic and Djokovic, probably the worst players in terms of that. I really like Coleman Wong's game, Damien. He just runs out of stamina quickly. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of in two minds, I think, right now. Like, he's probably his best version is when he's just taking everything early, going forward into the court, and basically not giving the opponent a chance to play. But then sometimes he actually doesn't play like that, and I think then his ceiling is a little lower. But I think he will be a top 100 player at some point. Hopefully, he should become the first Hong Kong Challenger champion in history very soon. He is 0-4 already. Tiebreak 3, they highlight how difficult it is to win 2 to 3 points in a row, especially under pressure. That's for sure. JJ Wolf and Edmund playing some indoor challenger. I mean, Edmund had his best run since coming back from the injury. Also, for JJ Wolf, it's not just some indoor challenger. It's his alma mater, actually. Ohio State courts. Anyway, that doesn't matter right now. Shang with the early break, yes. Brandon losing to someone born in the 1980s. Chief still has 2 years more in his career. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying as well. 2 years, is more or less where I would place it as well. If he can have 2 more healthy years, 2 more years at the top 100, maybe top 50 level, that would be really nice. And apparently my Nakashima agenda is still going to agenda. Hopefully Vansh was not watching the stream. I mean, Brandon, the tiebreak, he played excellent up until cracking under pressure. It happens. Up until then, I think that, he was just not moving Cilic. Didn't really have any strategy on how to move Cilic, how to not allow Marin to dictate in the points. Sure, it's tough. Cilic has so much power, but I think there might have been, some more innovation from Brandon in there. But anyway, that didn't happen. And we are going to have Marin Cilic in the Hangzhou final. And who is he going to play? Of course, it's going to be Buyun Chokete or Zhizhen Zhang. That semifinal is going to come shortly. Thank you guys anyway for today. That's it from me. Tomorrow, we're going to have ATP Weekly in the evening after the finals. And for now, that's all I can really tell you about the plans for the channel. Still a fun match. Could have gone 3, but Nakashima cracked at that 6-5 point in the tiebreak and 6-all as well. So it didn't eventually. But yeah, good story for sure with Cilic coming back and doing this right away. All right. Once again, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys shortly, probably tomorrow on the ATP Weekly in the evening. So yeah, bye.